Your skin isn't sensitive. It's just injured. So here's the 6-week repair. First, sensitive skin is a marketing category. Impaired barrier is a real condition. One of those you're stuck with for life. The other one you can largely fix in about 6 weeks. Most of you have the second one, and I have spent years shopping for the first one. So what the barrier physically is, let's talk about it. I'm Dr. Leah, PharmD with a PhD in drug development and cancer research. And I want to do this properly because everyone says barrier and almost nobody says what it is made of. So the outer layer of your skin is bricks and mortar. Everybody's heard that much, right? So the bricks are dead. It's flattened cell full of keratin. Fine. But the mortar is the interesting part, and the mortar is where all your problems live. The mortar is lipids in 3 specific families. Ceramides, that's roughly half of it. Cholesterol, yes, cholesterol in your skin, don't worry, doing the real structural work, and free fatty acids. And here's the part that really matters. The ratio matters, not just the total. You cannot fix this by dumping 1 of 3 on your face. A wall built with the wrong mortar mix is still a bad wall and will fall apart, however much you use. So that mortar is what keeps your water in and keeps irritants, allergens, and microbes out. So when it is intact, you can put almost anything on your face. It's amazing. But when it's not, and usually it is more often not, water leaves and your skin and everything else also walks in. Everything you don't want. So when you read barrier cream on a label, the question to ask is whether it actually contains the mortar. Look for ceramides, usually written as ceramide and PAP or EOP, plus cholesterol, plus fatty acids, ideally with something like squalane or like butter, like cocoa butter, to hold it all in place. A product marketed for the barrier that contains none of these words is just selling you the marketing fix that won't work. So how do we break it? How did we broke it? So think about the last 10 years. You probably have used an acid toner morning and night. You used vitamin C, you used the retinol, an enzyme mask on some Sunday, a clay mask on Wednesday, and a real bad scrub because you learned that all this dead skin needs to come off. Yeah, so every single one of those is a reasonable product, but stacked daily for years, that's a sanding program, damaging your barrier. We spent 5 years exfoliating ourselves down to the studs and then bought a $90 serum to fix the damage, but it's not fixable like this. And it's not a skincare routine. That's a renovation loan. So barrier repair being the biggest trend of 2026 is not an innovation. It is actually the industry's apology for the acid and active toner era. And I'd have more respect for the apology if it weren't being sold at a premium. So let's talk about the 5 signs, including 2 that no one mentions. 1, product that used to be fine now sting. Not new product, old familiar ones. Yes, your barrier is broken. 2, tightness after cleansing that doesn't settle within a few minutes. So even if you cleanse with a very, very gentle cleanser, you still have that tightness and squeakiness. Broken barrier. 3, redness that comes and goes without any obvious trigger. Like if you have rosacea, that's one thing. But if you don't have it and you just become red, that's a barrier that needs repair. 4, and this is the one people miss. Water stings. Plain water on your face. That is genuinely abnormal thing for skin to do. And that's a real signal that something is off. And 5, you are dry and oily all at once. So when the barrier leaks water, skin can overproduce oil to compensate. So you don't have oily skin or dry skin. It just skin is overcompensating. So you get flaking and shine together. And then you buy something mattifying, which strips it even further, which makes it produce even more oil. That loop has trapped a lot of people for years. And two contributing factors that no one checks: water temperature. Hot water strips lipids directly, and the showers where most of the damage happens is the one. It's not usually the same. And hard water, if you live somewhere with it, the mineral content genuinely does interact with cleansers in a way that leaves more residue and more irritation. Neither is a product problem, but both are free to fix. So let's talk about the 6-week protocol. Week 1 and 2, subtract. Everything comes off. I know it's sad. I know you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. Use extremely, extremely gentle cleanser, extremely gentle. Use barrier moisturizer, repairing. And always non-negotiable, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. 3 products, no acid, no retinol, no vitamin C, no masks, no devices, no tools. I know. Around day 4, you will look worse because nothing is doing the surface polishing your acids were doing. You're not glowing and you're like, it doesn't work. That is a withdrawal from a cosmetic effect, not evidence it's failing. You have to hold patience, my friend. Weeks 3 and 4, rebuild. Same 3 products, and now you're patient. This is where everyone quits. And I understand why, because nothing is happening. You're not glowing. But lipid layer reorganize slowly. It takes up to 4 weeks. You cannot rush it. So what to look for shouldn't be glow. It's the absence of stinging. Week 5 and 6, reintroduce one at a time, one active, twice a week. Wait a full week before adding anything else. And if something stings now, you've learned something enormously valuable, because for the first time, you have a clean baseline, your barrier is repaired, so you know that's not my product. My skin reacts to this product. And then week 7 onwards, maintenance, which no one talks about. The barrier is not a thing you fix once. You can go straight back for what you were doing in April, but you will be back again in November with a barrier that's broken. So the routine you land on at week 6 is the routine. That's not a disappointing ending. That's just the entire point. You don't need more. Let's talk about an interesting ingredient, beta-glucan, and what the 2026 hype actually is. Quick word on the ingredients you're about to see everywhere. Beta-glucan is a polysaccharide from oats, yeast, and fungi. It's actually good humectant. It's soothing, and there is a reasonable evidence around even its wound healing properties. Is it nice? Yes. But is it a thing that's going to repair and fix your barrier? No. Your barrier is a lipid problem, and beta-glucan is not a lipid. So, and you will see this ingredient, but don't believe it. It's a good ingredient having a marketing moment. Both things can be true, and it happens to even the best of us. So, when it is not your barrier. So, this is very, very important. That's the part where I wish I told myself years ago. So if you do 6 weeks properly and you are still red and you are still burning and you are still flaring, it may not be your barrier. So persistent central redness with flushing and visible vessels can be rosacea, like I mentioned before. A stubborn bumpy rash around the mouth or nose can be also dermatitis. And importantly, it often gets worse with the rich moisturizers I just told you about. So itching, swelling, and spreading suggest a true contact allergy, which needs patch testing to identify. Go to your doctor, derm, or allergist. These are all medical problems. They require real treatments, and no amount of ceramides will fix them. go to see a derm, go to your doctor, go to see an allergist. I sell skincare, and I would still rather you did that than spend another 2 years buying skincare that will make it worse. So I've written the 6 weeks up as proper plan. What to use, what to expect week by week. Please write to me and I'll give you that plan. Just 3 or 4 ingredients max. It's all on epilinks.com. If you want the moisturizer I use for weeks 1 to 4, it needs to be calming one, the real calming moisturizer. And it is built without the 14 most common allergens exactly for that reason. But it has niacinamide, it has specific oils for barrier, and it has hyaluronic acid and all the goodies in there. So tell me in the comments which of the signs you may have. Please comment so I can reply. We can start the conversation. I'm doing this for you. I love you. Thank you.